All right, Ethereum USD on the macro, starting on the monthly. We are currently down over 57% from high wick to low wick, and current price is down roughly 50%. Certainly a sell-off, and we've closed a monthly candle under the 21, but we did back here as well. We're in the what I would call like the chop zone or the do nothing zone, from 2,500 to 2,000 area. Range high wicks here, range low wicks back here, range low wicks here, and now range low wicks back at the bottom. So macro support going all the way back to June 23. 4 months straight of resistance back down to the 50-month, which we're currently kind of flirting with now. So I would look for this to see a bounce in the not so distant future, right? Don't panic for a bear market yet on the downside, right? All the risk is removed here. You wait for the bounce, and like I mentioned in our SPX 500 video, if you haven't watched that, go check that out, and wait for the rally, and then you see if the bears or bulls show up once you rally back to a key level. I would say for Ethereum, that's going to be 2,500 area. You want to watch where that 21 is, the yellow line, will be the pivot. Would likely be, even if we rally in the next month or so, would likely still be around that area. And then if you reject there, then you can start to worry. But saying that you're down, 50, 60%, and then thinking you're going to just continue down, I know that's the feeling, but high probability of at least a bounce here. Going back to, I would guess, somewhere around 2,500, then we see if the bulls are ready to step back in big time, or it's just a kind of a dead bounce and you're going to roll over and kind of falter here and then do something like this, right? We don't know yet what's happening on the macro. For Bitcoin as well, Bitcoin's still above the monthly EMA 8. Bitcoin would be Bitcoin's currently at the equivalent of where Ethereum would be, about 3,100. So alt's certainly weaker, Ethereum included in that this cycle. Bitcoin, until it closes under the monthly EMA 8, you don't have a leg to stand on for a bear market. Now, you can see the range highs. Yeah, you can argue that. We've taken out the lows. Certainly looks sketchy here, I agree. But to get nervous here and to capitulate or get out here is, in my opinion, the wrong thing to do. And you would at least have to wait for a rally back to certain key levels. To me, that looks like 2,500 for Ethereum roughly. So now let's look at some of the macro indicators and see if those look any sketchy. Okay, so how about we start with the RSI? I'm glad you asked. Range lows, even in the bear market, range lows. Where are we now? Bear market, bull market, range lows for Ethereum going all the way back to 2018 is around the 40 mark for the RSI, which is coincidentally where we are just now. All right, hopefully that weighs big. We don't have any momentum. You could stay down here for a while, but you got to start somewhere. MFI, still really high. So MFI is similar to RSI, just has volume, right? I like this one better for a divergence. You can argue double bottom here. Made a, came back up, took out the highs. Great. Now we're back down to kind of the average, right? If you kind of take the average, the lows, the highs, the lows, the highs, we're kind of right in the kind of the sweet spot here. So nothing really to take away from there. Let's go look at the Fisher transform triggering down. But I like the Fisher transform for, major trend changes and not this, up 1 month, down 1 month, chop. Major peaks, major runs, right? Think of these like railroad tracks, and major turns is what you're looking for. Not necessarily halfway through the tracks you're looking for turns. Not as much. Even though we've triggered down, right? We just triggered up 2 months ago. Did that do anything for us? No. Could this do anything for us? Possibly not as well. 1 month up gets a trigger. 1 month down gets a trigger. You're looking for sustainable moves and then looking for a trigger. So Fisher transform, I kind of would throw out in this scenario. Again, if you want to look more into indicators and how I kind of would relay using them more cautiously, go check out the SPX 500 video. Anything else? How about the MACD? A lot of people love using the MACD. A lot of fake outs in the MACD. We got one right there. I mean, that's a perfect fake out right there. We got a trigger. Watch out. Spooked. That's October 2024. Right? Go look at the prices, October 2024. If you would have followed that, you would have gotten out right here. Again, at support. Previous range low wicks, new range low wicks. Look at the rally that came after that. You would have missed out on that if you just followed the MACD. Prices are king. Indicators are lagging. If you're using indicators to dictate what you do, you're already behind the curve, right? Price dictates the indicators, not the other way around. All right, so Ethereum, although looks, weak, it's at support on the macro, on the RSI, on the monthly, right? The monthly macro, 50% drawdown for number 2 in crypto. I like at least a rally here in the not so distant future to around, again, 2,500 for ETH. Bitcoin, I'm looking around 92 to 95K. We'll see how it goes after that. But until then, you either need a sustainable close for Bitcoin under the 8-month EMA, a close under 70K, which would take out the previous cycle's high, right? That would be a warning. Or a hold of Bitcoin and or Ethereum around the significant levels. And until then, you don't panic here. You panic if the bulls fail to show up. All right, so that's the monthly. We can just take a peek at the weekly. We're under the 200 week. You're weak by definition there. And you can see these previous range highs, loose range lows here. Even the bear market got, just under the 200 week for some time. But look at this. That was the end of the bear market. Hello? Like, if we're starting a bear market, that's not typical, right? You don't typically start a bear market in fear and you're immediately under the 200 week. That's not usually how it works. And by usually, I mean never. Okay, so I do not think we're in a bear market. I think we're bearish, rough waters chop for sure. But not typical of anything. We don't have enough data to say, like, we don't have, decades plus to look at, like, the stock market. Again, like the stock market video, I go back and look for a while. And you can see many anomalies where it didn't work out when it looked like it should work out based on indicators, based on price action. Look for a rally sooner than later. And, then look at the pivot point. What did the bulls do? Did they blast right through it? Then, hey, we're probably good to go. Once we get back to, around the 38 to 4,000 level for Ethereum, realize that's also a significant level. But also, I would watch the 21 week. That's currently at 2,700 and falling. Could coincidentally be around 2,500 by the time we rally up to it in the next couple of weeks, perhaps. Alrighty.